Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to another episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to be a Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom Grossi, and we are coming fresh off a Green Bay Packers loss to the Detroit Lions with the score of 31-23. An ugly game for just about everybody involved if you like the Green Bay Packers or good football games. Before we get started, though, I want to shout out to brand new Patreons that helped me out. We got Justin, thank you very much, my good sir, and Corey with a one-time donation of $100. So thank you very much to the both of you. If you would like to support the show, support me, you can check out patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy. The link will be in the description down below. Now, let's get into this game. Well, let's look at the obvious first, and let's look at Mason Crosby. Mason Crosby had the worst game of his career, going 1 for 5 and 0 for 1 on an extra point. Really wasn't a good game. We changed the shoes in the first half. It wasn't the shoes. He had to have had some voodoo doll stabbed in his foot, which was causing him some problems. But for the people that are freaking out that the sky is falling, some of you may remember that Mason Crosby went through a little bit of a depression a few years ago. We stuck with him. He became one of the most accurate kickers in the league. I think that this is hopefully just a one-off, considering he had just missed one field goal the entire season thus far, and he's been in the top 5 when it came to accuracy over the past few seasons. And I think that Mike McCarthy and the Green Bay Packers definitely have some faith in him, considering Rodgers went over, put his arm around him, just said it was one game. And then McCarthy allowed or gave Mason the chance to kick a field goal to kind of get his confidence a little bit back, and at least drilling one of them today. So while Crosby definitely left a bunch of points out on the field, 13 to be exact, it's not completely and totally his fault that we lost the game, but it sure didn't help. Now, taking a look at some stats, this isn't the stats from Rodgers that you would expect in a losing effort. Went 32 for 52. The guy threw the ball over 50 times because we were down so early for 442 yards. He threw over 40,000 yards in his career, so good for him. 3 touchdowns. So those stats are incredible by themselves. But he also had 2 lost fumbles, which really hurt him. And the Lions were able to score 10 points off turnovers. You had the 2 lost fumbles from Rodgers. You also had the Kevin King punt fumble, which I'm going to say the Packers got a little screwed there, considering that I'm still convinced that it touched one of the Lions players first, but that's neither here nor there. You can't go back and change the past. That's from the Lion King. Now, Aaron Jones, only 7 attempts for 40 yards because we got away from the running game real early. Davante Adams, with the absence of Randall Cobb and Geronimo Allison, he picked his game up big time, going 9 for 140 with 1 touchdown. He dropped what would have been a long pass, and it would have put him down at the goal line. And he also had a couple bobbles today. Hopefully that's just a one-time thing. The rookies, though, they shined today, getting some opportunities. Equanimeous St. Brown going 3 for 89, and Scantling, or MVS, going 7 for 68 and scoring his first NFL touchdown. So that was fun. Jair Alexander missing from the secondary, and it was felt, especially in the first half. Blake Martinez continued his play, having 2 sacks today. But other than that, you didn't have a whole lot. The defense didn't lose us the game. I want to be very clear about that as well. They didn't play well in the first half, obviously letting up a bunch of points, 24 in the first half. But considering that the Lions started on the Packers side of the field multiple times for multiple turnovers, you can't really expect that much from them. And I think they played their best of what they had. They only gave up 7 points in the second half. And that's kind of been the theme of this team for this season, in that they can't put together a good first half, and in the second half, they lock everything down. This is the second time that the Packers have been held scoreless in the first half, the first time being against the Bears earlier this year. But you can't give up 24 points or 28 points against the Redskins in the first half and expect your team to win even if you lock it down. So I don't know if it's scheming, I don't know if it's play calling, but the Packers need to put together a full game because Rodgers, he missed a couple of big throws. Obviously, the fumbles didn't help. Had some drops as well. But penalties also killed us as well today, getting penalized way more than we needed to be. Because if you look at the stats, Stafford going 14 for 26. He threw half the amount that Rodgers did, 183, 2 touchdowns. LeGarrette Blount had 2 goal line rushes for touchdowns. K'Aaron Johnson, 12 for 70. Galladay had a big day, 4 for 98 for a touchdown. But those stats, like, I don't want this to come off as bitter, but this is a really great scenario of the Packers lost this game. They had multiple opportunities to win. And not even in the first half. Talk about the second half, too. There was times where this team was within scoring distance, and either turnovers, penalties, miscommunications kind of ruined that for them. We got no momentum going, and anytime we did, it resulted in a bad play that just killed it completely. So this is a classic game of the Packers shot themselves in the foot. This is a game that hopefully won't come back to bite us because it's a division game. You know, we need to win all those considering the Bears are in first place right now. The Vikings are playing the Eagles today. Hopefully they will fall victim to those birds. But we kind of just have to move on. Hope that the offense kind of gets in sync. Rodgers gets back to his normal self as well. His mobility looked pretty good today. I think he rushed through about 3 times, scrambling once up the middle for a first down. And also scrambling up the sideline for a first down. That's all good. But the miscommunication with the receivers, the bad route running, we need to get healthy. Geronimo Allison, Randall Cobb, we need both of them back. We need a healthy backfield. Nick Perry got injured today. Kevin King got stepped on. We kind of just need to put it all together. We're playing well in the second half, but we're not putting together a cohesive game. And if we continually put ourselves in a situation where we're down 20-plus points in the second half, we can't rely on Aaron Rodgers to bail us out every single time. So, that being said, we're sitting at 2-2-1. We're second place in the division. The Bears are still sitting at first. They're on a bye week. We have the 49ers without Jimmy Garoppolo next week on Monday Night Football. Hopefully, we can get that win, go off into the bye, because our schedule does not get easier coming out of the bye facing the Rams and the Patriots, 2 Super Bowl caliber teams. So, we just hope that we can go into the bye 3-2-1. And take it from there. But what are your thoughts on the game? Obviously, not very fun to watch, but we did live stream it. We were there. A bunch of you joined, so thank you for everyone who checked out the live streams. If you haven't, we've been live streaming every single Packers game, so come on down and join us. It's a grand old time. You can always find me at TomGrossiComedy.com, TomGrossi Comedy, or Tom Grossi Comedy on the Twitter and the Instagram, and also Patreon, as mentioned before. You can check out my debut comedy album, Allergic to Fun, which was #1 on Amazon the weekend it came out. Digital copies on Amazon and iTunes. You can also pick up a physical copy that I'll sign for you on TomGrossiComedy.com. Also, check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, and, of course, here on the YouTubes. We do multiple episodes per week. In addition, I am also running the New York City Marathon in less than a month, and I am running for Parkinson's research, so the link to donate is down in the description down below. Thank you very much for those who have donated. We're almost a third of our way to the goal. Anything that you could donate would be very, very helpful. But thank you so much for watching. Let's move on, Packers fans. On to the next one. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.